Hello, how are you guys? I just wanted to do a labor and delivery video. Um, well, Miss Leilani was born on September 26th, 2010, and in the days before her arrival, um, I was, um, I guess, in the early stages of preeclampsia. I didn't know it though. Let me see. She was born on a Sunday, and on a Friday, I had my doctor's appointment, and I would say it's my 38-week doctor's appointment. Well, my doctor came in there, and this is like maybe the third visit that me and my husband were there together. Um, so I'm 38 weeks exactly on that Friday because my weeks changed on Friday, and it's a fire truck outside. Um, so yeah, we were there and we were waiting on her. You know how long you gotta wait in the doctor's office, and she comes in there, she checks the heartbeat and everything. And I like 2 weeks before that, when I was like 36 weeks, I got checked for dilation, and I was like 1 centimeter. And I was so excited though. I was trying to go home and do everything to dilate myself. None of that stuff works. Anyway, so yeah, so we're in there, and she comes in there, and we do the routine, everything, and she tells me that I had protein in my urine. This is the first time I ever had protein in my urine. Every other time, everything was fine. So she told me she's gonna send me home with a 24-hour urine analysis. So I was like, whoa, I gotta pee in this thing, and I gotta put it in the refrigerator. So I had told her, yeah. So I had told her um, just the symptoms I was having, which was a little bit of swelling every now and then, and a lot of pressure, and couldn't sleep. Of course, all that stuff is normal. But anyway, so uh, we are we went to a friend's house, and we stayed over there really late. And I had sat down the whole time. Well, when I got up to leave, my legs looked like I had gained 50 pounds, and they hurt to walk, and it was just so sore. My legs and my feet were swollen. And so that night, or actually a few minutes, not a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes after that, um, my chest started hurting, and I was like, oh no, this is not right. So I waited um, a while, and then I called the online nurse, or not the online, my bad, the on-call nurse or whatever. And they, I told them my symptoms. I said, my chest is hurting, and I'm having uh, really bad swelling. And so um, she calls me back, and I'm trying to explain to her, what's going on. And she tells me um, that obviously nothing was wrong with me if I didn't go to the doctor. Well, my water didn't break. I was having swelling that I had been having for a long time, since I was like probably 23 weeks pregnant, and I was 38 weeks pregnant. So it wasn't, weird to be swelling, but I was swelling ferociously. Like, it was huge. And so she told me, she said, well, there's obviously nothing wrong with you. This wasn't my doctor. This was a doctor that was working in the practice with my doctors, but she was just on call for that night. I had never met her, and that's the first time I ever talked to her. Well, I was really mad. And she was like, well, I was like, well, do you think I should go to the, you know, labor and delivery? And she was like, well, um, I don't think, or it's up to you. And I'm like, okay, so is that you think I should go or you don't? So she never gave me a clear answer, so I was like, okay. And so that morning, I felt like maybe my water was starting to leak. So I told my husband, and I told him, I said, we're gonna go. We're just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna get checked because I never had been my whole pregnancy. I never had been to labor and delivery for anything. So he drops me off. We you know, and I should let you know, before this we had everything for her. The only thing I had left to do was pack my hospital bag. And if nothing was wrong when I went to the triage, I was going to come home and get everything packed. Well, I get there, and she tells me to get undressed, and she's checking my blood pressure. Well, on my way there, I had a headache, and I also should remind you I didn't eat either. So I thought this might have been why I had the headache. Well, when I get there, she checks my blood pressure, and I had to tell her about the protein in my urine because I didn't get to do the urine analysis yet because my doctor told me to do it on Monday. Also, I forgot to say that my doctor was gonna induce me because my due date was October 8th. She was gonna induce me on October 4th, which was the earliest she could possibly do it. My husband was leaving October 5th to go out to sea. So, and my husband's in the Navy. And so she was gonna, have it on, do it on the 4th for me. Well, so here we are, and I hadn't done my urine analysis yet, but she tells me, the nurse tells me, she's like, well, honey, you have a headache and your blood pressure's up. Blood pressure had never been up the whole pregnancy, and high blood pressure runs in my family. Uh, so I'm like, whoa. And she's like, well, that's three strikes. You have protein in your urine, you have high blood pressure, and you have headaches. So, she's like, well, honey, we're going to go ahead and have this baby. And in this room, I'm not getting service. So I've been trying to talk to my husband the whole time, but I keep hanging up on him because of the service. So they're wheeling me down there, and I still can't get any service. So they allow me to call him, of course, on the phones. So I call him and I tell him, and he's like, "Oh, really?" Because me and him both didn't think, nothing was gonna happen. I didn't really think my water had broke. I was like, well, just in case, I'm gonna go get checked. But my water hadn't broke. Um, so they, said I might have preeclampsia. So they were working with me as if I did have it, or as if I was going to have it, and so they were gonna go ahead and induce me. And so this was my first time ever getting an IV. So I got my IV. Wasn't that bad at all. The lady who did it was really great. And of course I got undressed and everything, and they checked me for dilation. My husband made it there, like right before. No, he made it there right before they started doing my IVs. He made it there pretty fast. He wasn't far away at all. Um, but since we lived like 5 minutes away from the hospital, he didn't have to go home and really get anything. He can go get it later. I'm probably gonna have to make this in 2 parts. But anyway, so they checked me for dilation, and I'm 2 centimeters. But they said that my cervix is way in the back and it's still hard. So I was like, oh wow. So like, well, we have a long way to go, and we want you to um, relax because your blood pressure's up. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you have high blood pressure and you're pregnant, you can't do anything. I mean, they had me laying down on my left side, on my right side, mainly on the left side. They had the blood pressure cuff on me, and it was just so like annoying. But we had to do it. They had the monitors on me and everything. We had to do it to make sure I didn't have a seizure because if I had a seizure, then like Lonnie could have possibly something could have happened to her. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop this now. And okay, I'll see you in a minute. This is gonna be part 1. I'm gonna go to part 2. Okay.